Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on what is, I have to say, overcast. It's very cloudy here, a little wind, but it's a glorious morning. It's really warm, the birds are singing, it's absolutely wonderful. This, apparently, is the start of what is going to be a rather warm week here in the UK, so fingers crossed. They say that all the time, don't they, these weather forecasters? Oh, it's going to be absolutely glorious for the next 5 days, and then it throws it down. Well, let's hope that we have some glorious weather. I'm just having a little break, and before I did, one of those things, I looked under the bench here and it was full of rubbish over the years, put stuff under. I thought I'd do it to clear up. Well, half an hour later, I'm exhausted. So I thought I'd have a little rest, because today is all about the next step. Transferring the seedlings from the greenhouse into the ground, because yes, they're ready. With a wave of heat coming, then I think we can risk it and plant them out. Put them into the places, hopefully they'll continue to grow over the next few months to give us lots and lots of food and lots of colour. So, welcome on board. Get your cuppa, I can't wait for mine. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, find your favourite spot. Mine is right here on this bench. Welcome once again to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Cheers. Oh, there's nothing like a cup of tea outside, So here I am against the end of my allotment wall between the other allotment, and this has always been wasted space, because this was the part when I had my polytunnel up. There's a little walkway down the back, and we never grew anything here in the last 2 years or so. So now the polytunnel's gone. This is actually really good soil and earth, because it's had lots over the years, believe it or not. Probably about 6 inches actually, it wasn't that much of a path. I could just get behind. But the rest of it here, over the years, has had lots of manures in it, extra compost, feed, all sorts of things. And it's really good soil. So I've thought I'll put my sunflowers here. I've got my bushes. This is my one of the, well, this is the gooseberry bush. I've got, this is blueberry, that's blueberry. My raspberry bushes at the other end. So they're coming on really, really nicely. So I'm transplanting from seedlings, as you can see here. Look, we have them. They're a bit leggy, but then they are sunflowers. So they need to come out. And well, I've taken them out, and they've really split quite easily into lovely little separate seedlings. And well, what I'm doing is I'm planting right up to the bottom leaf on most of them, in the hope when they grow now, as we've been talking a few times actually here on the allotment in the greenhouse, they become leggy because they've actually had well, they've had no wind to strengthen them, and they need strengthening. So I put them right in as far as I can put them in, because when they grow now, they'll be into the elements and they'll get really strong stems, because some of these will need them. Now these ones are, I think, if my labelling is correct, lovely red sunflowers, smaller ones. And well, the tall ones aren't quite ready yet. They'll be out shortly, but they're going to go into a different place. So we've got across the back sweet peas, different varieties. We've got just a tall variety of sweet pea. Then we've got ones, I think these are white swans going across the back. So they're smaller varieties. So that would be very nice. Of course, the smell from the sweet peas would be adorable. So my sunflowers, I'm just popping in. Some will survive. I have to keep a close eye out for birds. So I may need to net, and also slugs, because they love a good sunflower at this early stage. But mainly the pigeons will be down. So I need to find some netting or something to keep them away, to scare them off. So I'm going to continue planting these. I brought out outside here in the distance, oops, dear me, give this to this is how fickle lettuce can be. This is lettuce, and it's just been picked, and obviously, it tastes beautiful from the vine. I'll put that back there. We'll sort that out in a bit. Isn't it lovely? Glorious day. Hey, time for another cup of tea. It's lovely this morning. Oh, it's fantastic. Right, well, the sunflowers are in. I've put some wildflower seeds down as well. That's going to be watered in shortly. As we know, the banking behind me here, that's got wildflowers on, so fingers crossed some of that will come up. And I put a couple of sunflowers in here. I've also brought out my squash plants. There's two in the bank already because they'll just wander. They're like the pumpkins, aren't they? Giant things. This one, I might pop down here and let it just wander through the plants that I'm sowing, because it will get full sun for about 2 or 3 hours a day, and then even longer when the days get longer and the sun's higher in the sky. I've tripped myself. I've got a little biscuit as well. It's lovely. So here we've got some sweet peas. I've moved the fire. It's just in the way, and because of the weather I've no been able to light it at night because it's all too damp. So I put it somewhere it's covered. It'll dry out over the next few weeks, and then we can set fire to that, because obviously you can't burn damp wood. Well, you can, but it takes a lot to get going, and it create some smoke. So I've dug over this other patch here now, left a pathway so I can get through here and enjoy the garden from this view. So we've got potatoes in that trench. This is going to be dug over. I've thrown some old potato peelings on here, some tea bags. We'll dig that in. I've got some straw somewhere. We'll dig that in, because this section here where I am was the path inside the polytunnel, and so it's really been compacted, the earth here. And well, we don't want that, do we? Need it nice and loose. Lots of lovely worms in here, which is a good thing. 1 or 2 snails, which we've donated to the wildlife. And well, it's fantastic. It's a lovely, lovely time. Now, here in front of me, bless it, and I have slightly squashed it, is a comfy plant. And I'm going to leave it there, because once it grows bigger and bigger, we can take the leaves off, put it into water, and make absolutely fantastic feed for the plants. It's like comfy tea. They absolutely love it. And we can leave that there growing nicely. There's also a dock leaf as well, but that'll stay there in case they get nettled, because there's a nettle growing bang right next to it. Isn't nature wonderful? You have a nettle, and it puts next to it something that alleviates the sting. Just absolutely fantastic. Well, it's great, as I said, to be out now, to plant things, to get things underway. Now, before we go, forgive me 1 minute for walking out of camera, but I will keep talking, and I'll just pop over here and I'll come back. A little quiz for you for next time. Remember, this plant was growing out of the waste in my greenhouse. Remember, I put it in to make lovely compost. Well, this is what grew. I went in, yes, it was on its side, so I've stuck it in some compost, and actually it's just revived it a little bit, so that I can show you these here beautiful flowers have come out of cabbage. That maybe you can have a guess for next time here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. It's great to have you on board. It's lovely once again being out. We can now start talking about what we do with our plants when they're coming up. We'll talk next time about potatoes and tomato blight. They're the same thing, caused by extreme weather conditions in a way, and it's airborne and very, very difficult to control and get rid of. It's all about humidity. Let's get the word right, humidity in the air. But we'll talk more about that. And well, oh, you're possibly wondering what these are for. These are my bird scarers, because you probably can't hear, but when the wind blows, they are making a subtle banging sound, and that's enough to keep the birds away from my lovely young seedlings. It's a cheap way. These I've had in the allotment because these were in the ground that way up at the bottom of my tomato plants. And water would drip through the bottom into the base of the plant and kept them well watered. And so we've got those around. They'll be there until these get stronger and bigger when the birds don't go near them. So, once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's. I'm cooking this. As I say, once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Great to have you on board, and I'll see you next time here on the allotment. Ta-ra for now. Oh, by the way, I've just discovered some bindweed coming through the hedge, the fence, should I say, between my allotment and next door's, and it's definitely coming this way. Here's a photograph. It starts all innocently, If I left that there, it would literally, wouldn't take very long for it to come right through here and right through the allotment. We don't want that, especially in the growing area. It's not sapping the life out of my plants. So that is coming out shortly, because that is where my bluebell plants are. And I want some, not bluebells, blueberry. I want some blueberries. Anyway, cheers. See you next time. Ta-ra for now.